Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by myself, Vulcan, and Attack Power.
Welcome back everyone, super pumped for more SD2 action.
In this video we have for you Game 2 of a best of 3 between Nord and Luna in the semi-final of the last Steel Division League. Today they are playing on Tali Ihantala, and on our left in the red team we have Nord playing with the 1st Infantry with the Maverick deployment type, and on our right in the blue team we have Luna playing with the new Kampfgruppe Walther with the balanced deployment type.
Fake news, SD League is never ending.
Alright, so what do you think about these divisions, Attack Power?
Group Walther, I would imagine one of the best divisions you can pick for this map. A lot of great tools. You're working with your Jagdpanzers, you're working with your Jagdpanther, your Panther, so you get all the 2K center stuff covered. Your infantry are very strong. The biggest weaknesses with this division, lack of light armor. You really don't have much, and that's honestly most of the meta these days. You don't have much CQC infantry, and certainly nothing that overperforms. And your RD is nothing shockingly great. So there are definitely weaknesses for the division. I know it's absolutely cracked in 10v10, but here in 1v1, it's a very good division, but nothing absurdly untouchable. Other side, Big Red 1, it is a very solid division. It's not a bad division on its own. For this map, odd, but I see reasons. There's a lot of 2K HE, which arguably is as important as 2K AT. He has the M10s to work at 2K in terms of killing tanks and stuff. And then you get a really strong A phase. We know Nord's a very aggressive player. The assault units are very strong overall. So that would be my guess as to why he chose this and is leaning into this division for this map.
Alrighty, well, let's have a quick look at what's going down before they get underway. Over on the side of Luna here on the top right, we have the Erkundungs, which are going to be his close-range infantry there, coming in with an SD of Z251. He's got the Pak 38, we've got the 2 Fallschirmjägers with the 30 cows. Further down, MG42, Panzerschreck, Pioneers, Erkundungs. We got the Bewährungsarmen as well there, and a Fallschirmjäger with the FG42. We got the Stug 3G. On the bottom side, it's going to be 2 Pak 38s. We got the MG42, Panzerschreck, Fallschirm Pioneers, Erkundungs, and some Panzer Grenadiers with the Stug 3G. That's a lot of different types of infantry in phase A. Over on the side of Nord, loads of these 4 GPAs rush into the front with assault busters, assault fire support. We've got just loads of those. M8s, we've got some assault teams following up with the M3 howitzer there and a bazooka. On the top side, just an M3 howitzer with assault breacher, assault leader, and a bazooka trying to sneak around the top side.
Yeah, he's got actually 6 cards of infantry in A phase. That's a lot.
Yeah, a lot on Luna's side, yeah, absolutely.
And he's playing balanced, which means A phase, it's not like he's going to have tons of points to throw around. So a little surprising. Pak 38 picking up a whole bunch of transport kills here. That's huge. Especially those assault teams are really strong. So killing those off early, definitely a big win.
Yeah, killing the assault team, yeah, really, really nice there. And the second one getting caught and the open's going to get mowed down by the MG42. In the center, though, things going pretty well for Nord, as does manage to use the M8s to pin down the infantry and get in there quickly with the assault fire support. Center, further down, Erkundung's Panzergren's going to be unharassed, so they'll maybe be able to put some more counter pressure on. Erkundung's coming in with their half track, going to be unloading right next to these assault busters. That's not a good position for them at all.
Not at all. Up north, something up north to take note of. Nord is sneaking a bazooka around that lake. We'll see if that develops into anything later. Could be interesting.
Yeah, but that M3 howitzer doing work on the bottom side in the meantime. Takes out the AT gun, forces back the Fallschirm Pioneer. Now the Stug 3 going to try and deal some damage in return, but the M3 howitzer will get off the road quickly. We do see that the half track has gone down now, and the MG42 swiftly follows as the assault busters get their rockets on target. So just a Stug 3 to hold the line for the time being. Meanwhile, Panzergrens with their MP44s going to be engaging the fire support and assault busters in the mid. The Willy Pete there forcing the Panzergrens to move does make them take a lot of damage. They lose their entrenchment bonus. Bazooka's still unmatched on the top side. Luna. Looks like Luna kind of prepared for Onord to push in to that north side with some infantry, and since Onord didn't, there's quite a lot of infantry just sitting doing nothing there for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, that's the common place to push. I mean, red can get to that flag pretty early. If it grabs it, it kind of helps you develop into some pushes further north and such. So that's probably the most common place for red to go. So I understand why he put a lot of counterplay there. Onord kind of big brain this one and went down south, which tends to be a harder push with a lot less flags to capture. So, I mean, you can see you only captured a flag and there's really nowhere else to go. So that's the issue with going down south.
A nice bombing run by the A20G there. Doesn't get any full kills. Pack 38 still surviving, but some severe damage to both the AT gun and the Panzergren unit. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, that Falchion Pioneer with the 2 vets slowly cut down a couple more squads from own Nord. So let's put him in a much better position there. 2 Falchion Jaegers with FG42s now on the way to clean things out. And the Stug 3 still stands, so decent amount of forces now building up again for Luna on the bottom side. Middle in a little bit of panic at the moment, but will recover if they can get back into that heavy cover there. And in the mid, well, all the support from the half tracks is getting shots on target thanks to the Okundungs that are managing to stay hidden at close range.
Excellent unit. Kundungs are really solid here. And the problem for Nord is a lot of his units are very CQC based, and right now he's kind of grabbed those positions and is having trouble getting out of them. Focke-Wulf D9 down south going after that F5A. This did receive a buff to its maneuverability, and we can definitely see that on display here. That thing pulled around easy to kill that.
Yeah, really, really nice reactions there from Luna just to get that in to shoot down the recon plane, which I don't think Onord really gets very many of. Falchion is able to utilize their FG42s at range, but the assault fire support there doing loads of damage with the 2 vet. Double 30 cal, 4 carbines. Those carbines the equivalent of like an MP44, so ripping those units out in the open because the Falchion was not in cover.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that in this game, the carbine is essentially the same as an MP44, statistically speaking. Obviously, historically, so not at all the same. But in game, they function basically identically.
Yeah, the Falchion at that time around, second one was in heavy cover when it engaged, so it didn't take much damage, and now it's going to re-secure that bottom side. Focke-Wulf 190 coming in with the strafe onto the Assault Breacher just to make that engagement easier for the Falchion next. And so it looks like Luna really starting to stabilize after what was a very aggressive start from Onord.
Yeah, and once again, it is balance versus Maverick with Onord on Maverick income, so he's really got to get the... I mean, he's got a nice little ticket lead here, but does he have the terrain he needs? I'm not so sure yet if he's established what he needs to really press into B phase well.
Yeah, we got a good kill there on the bottom side with the M1 gun, killing the Stug 3, so that's something. LG42 almost kills the M1 gun in reply, but he keeps it alive, and we all know how scary 1 health AT guns can be, although not so much anymore.
Insta-kill.
I don't see it anymore. It's really bad. It's like the curse is gone. I used to kind of like it in these games because it just kept things exciting, but now they just get like random machine gun will just take that out. Like the Okundungs will just hit it with an MG42 or something, and it will just die, and it'd be really sad.
You feel like they made it realistic? That one man on an AT gun doesn't kill tanks? Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's sad. Assault team hunting down Okundungs that have pushed up here. If that assault team finds the Okundungs in the light cover, they're going to chew them up so fast.
It's going to be ugly.
Yeah, here we go. 3 vet assault team. That's the dead Okundungs.
It's easy to forget, too, still how absurdly effective the M1 Garand is in this game. It just feels better than the other semi-automatic rifles. I don't know if it's just because all the squads come with more of them in the Western Allied divisions, because I think they statistically are basically identical to the G43 and the SVT. But my God, do these Western Allied infantry feel so deadly with them.
Well, that Pack 38 that survived the bombing strike finds a kill onto the M4A1, and that is what you want to see.
There you go, Vulcan.
For Luna there.
Your Pack 38.
It's a 2 health AT gun. It's not a 1 health AT gun.
Maybe that's
I'm talking about the M1 gun.
Maybe that's what you need now, though, is 2 health, and then they still do this because he just killed the M16 too.
Yeah, that's a cheeky kill there, because now the Focke-Wulf 190 much more free to continue strafing We do see LG42 on the way for the mid, as well as an 81mm mortar, which he's probably going to be using to try and dislodge this assault team on that flag. Meanwhile, these MP44 Panzergrens going to be making a play for the further town. So things not completely decided just yet. I mean, we've still got to wait till Phase B, where Nord will get access to the 170 income per minute, and that's when Nord will be building up a force to push out Luna from these locations.
Yeah, and really the true terror of Maverick income versus balance is really at the end of B phase. Like basically the first 5 minutes of C phase, it can feel like you're doing really well through all of B phase, and then things just blow up in your face at the beginning of C phase because your opponent has maxed out their income advantage at that point.
Really interesting to see a 2-vet Focke-Wulf with those rockets. Was planning to use that to try and run after the A20G at the same time, but didn't manage to do so as the Bofors unloaded on the bottom side. A20G, though, did manage to get its bombs off and kill an infantry squad further up, allowing these assault breachers to move across the open and potentially challenge the Fallschirmjägers next.
Yeah, I mean, technically the veterancy on the Focke-Wulf, which should increase the accuracy of the rockets, right? That would be the whole point.
I think it's also so that it doesn't get scared off, right, as well by the
As
AA.
easy, yeah.
It's able to take a few more hits.
Well, and the big issue with rocket planes is once they take suppression, their rockets spread out and then become almost completely undeadly in the general sense. So I guess that would be the reason. I mean, it makes sense, I suppose, if he doesn't assume to call in many. We do see an 81 mortar now in as well, looking for that. Looking for some support there. The LG-42 down south as well. We see 2 of those. And that's going to do some major damage there to the assault team.
A20G coming in again with the bombing strike, the 227 kilogram bombs, looking to wipe out this Fallschirmjäger. Will it get out of the way in time?
Nope.
No, it will not. Take so many bombs to the face there. Oh, we see the Recon Arado coming out. Yep. That's really cool.
Neat. It's fun to see that. Although it's already smoking, it took a bad hit from something.
I think it's just where the
that
jets...
the jet? Is that the jet? Okay.
Yeah, it's just the jets.
I'm not used to actually like watching it. I've never like watched it.
Oh, that's not good. 1 health AT gun hits the mark, takes out the Panzergrens in the half track. There's a bunch of half tracks there that have been killed off in the open, actually. So maybe more than just that Panzergren being taken out. But that Focke-Wulf, here we go. See, this is what normally happens. Oh, it's not even dying.
Wow.
Yes, the hero.
Bofors is slightly out of position behind some woods there, so it did not get the shots off that it needed. So the Focke-Wulf might get another chance at this if he really wants it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and he's kind of risking that getting shot down, because if he's diving like towards the Bofors, he's going to be taking more damage in the front. So has to be very, very careful with that. Mortar in the middle, getting some accurate shots now onto the assault team, so we'll likely clean that up unless Nord does manage to dodge the last shot at the last moment. Meanwhile, on the top side, well, those assault breaches, they did manage to clean through one Fallschirmjäger unit, but with the Erkundungs and the Fallschirmjäger at a distance, they will be able to hold those back. But that A20G has a really nice bombing strike now that could take out not only these 2 infantry squads, but also the LG-42 by accident.
Oh, that's gonna burn. These A20's doing really well here. Not usually a huge... Oh, this is the heavier one. This one's big booms. Wow. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, not as... I was expecting something to die. Surprising it didn't. Now, the big issue here is Nord's still only on a 1410. He really needs that double tick to kind of like secure victory, truth be told. Because it's still a long way to go, and it's going to go deep into C phase if it stays at a single tick.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because as soon as we get into phase C, from that point forwards, like Luna's going to start getting ahead on overall income. And then it's only going to get worse for Nord. So getting the double tick, something super, super important. Beverdungs Arnhem going to be holding the bottom side now for Luna, as Luna most likely got a little bit of low on availability towards the end there of phase A. But now we've got Stugs on the middle. In the middle, the M1 gun looking to take that out. It looks like the Stug did take 1 shot. Now the M1 gun just looking to clean up a couple half tracks. LG-42 is holding back these rifles early in the open. Bit of wasteful, in my opinion, having these rifles just kind of running out in the open like that.
They were reinforcements coming in to try to improve the assault on the center, and they got stopped by the Stug. That's what happened
Okay.
with those. They weren't just like, let's walk them out and have fun. There were plans. He had plans for that. Okay, now Fogwolf A8 with the rockets in, so desperate to kill this 1 health M8, and he does get the kill. Stug going after that howitzer. Killing those 105s off is really important. They're just super strong, and they kind of block out entire chunks of the map. The Assault Breacher killing the Pack 38 up north, and 2 flags now because of that Assault Breacher up there.
Yeah, it's done a great job cleaning those out. Wolf 190 trying to come in with the strafing run, but completely misses. M10 actually getting some free hits onto the Stug 3 there. That's not site damage, going to have to back up. Assault team trying to win with the BAR against the Falchion Pioneer, and does manage to clean them up. So nice little kill there, which will push the front line quite heavily on this bottom side. Not quite over the flag just yet.
Yeah, the 81 mortar from Nord's side here, taking out a Pack 38 that was covering off this Sherman from pushing out in the open there. So that might change that up a little bit. The double 81 mortar going after that assault team to clear that up and hopefully flip that flag back to Luna. AR-234, the Dorado floating around there, checking for fun stuff. We do see...
Focke-Wulf strafed the assault breacher on the top side, and it allowed the Erkundungs to pin them down and force them back. So that assault breacher losing all of the ground it gained, and lots of reinforcements arrived in the meantime. 2 Sturm Pioneers, another Bewährungsaren. So it's going to make it difficult again for Nord to get in there and secure those flags once more. So we're back to 12-12 briefly.
M10 just killed off the Bewährungs in the transports. That was pretty painful. Notice this bazooka is still up there, Nord's bazooka, but no reinforcements like ever come in this direction.
Yeah, true. Yeah, nothing ever really uses that land spawn unless you push on that top side really hard. Oh, we're seeing a Jagdpanther come in on the back side there. But meanwhile, on the bottom side, the LG-42 killed off the M4 Sherman there.
Big kill.
So losing his medium tank support. And that's going to make it very, very difficult for these rifles to push into these infantry.
LG-42 in the center does go down. The Stug 3 taking shots at the M10. Misses its first. See if it can finish it off with the second. That would be pretty big. Okay, missed by like a country mile. That's sight damage showing its worth. Like, it's not even close.
It's really struggling, but the Focke-Wulf 190, really good strafe, pinned down 2 of those rifle early in the open. Finally, the Stug does get a shot on target, but the Stug going down to the next shot from the M10, so cleans that out. Now the A20's arriving once again, this time blind bombing into the center of the map, which feels inefficient.
Well, it's not like he really has any units like waiting to follow it up. Maybe these 2 rifles early over here. Maybe that's what he's planning to do. But
yeah,
seems weird.
Personally, I feel like he either needs to, bomb where the rifles early are trying to push in on the top side, or bomb on the bottom side where he can clearly see the Fallschirmjäger and the Bewährungsarmen there. Like, that would seem like such a better target for these bombers. You shouldn't really be blind bombing when you have better targets you can fire at.
Oh, yeah. Jagdpanther is finally here. The M10 already dead, though, so its HE will lend minor damage. Another A20 coming in. This is gonna hurt. Now they got a target.
Yeah, this is the right location. It's the 454 kilogram bombs, so the big bombs, and that's 2 fresh units of Fallschirmjägers that are going to take some decent damage. Not as much as you'd think, but all of those A20s now going to retreat. I find it really strange that Onord just keeps his A20s floating around sometimes, and his bombers. It's something that I've always seen him do, like, forever.
It's weird.
I think it's maybe it's down to the fact that he doesn't like use the bind to retreat, so he has to like click it. Maybe
that's the only reason I could
explanation.
Yeah, because I always queue up a fallback order like after the bombing strike. You just queue up a fallback order in the right direction that you want. It doesn't take long. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, if I ever had an interview with him, I would ask, because it's just really weird to see like that A20G just like floating around for no reason. But A20G coming in on the bottom side to kill off the LG-42, and that should successfully do so. Focke-Wulf coming in for the bombing strike in the center, and this is one thing that Walther does have that is very cool. These Focke-Wulf 190 F8s, they have 1,000 kilogram bombs. so they can just nuke infantry squads like that very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's abnormal to see a ground attack plane like that with something so heavy. What is weird too, Luna's called in no AA, and he has good AA pieces. Like he could be doing something to try to prevent these A20s from absolutely decimating him over and over again, but he's decided that it's just not worth the points to try to stop them, I guess.
I think he was just reliant on the Focke-Wulfs, right? The Focke-Wulf 190 was actually just like freely flying around for so long, like the D9. He does now have the 251-21D there with the drilling, but nothing's not
That's
very
not
good at
stopping.
stopping
That's not
bombers.
stopping a bomber. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Really, it's more of a ground support weapon, honestly, more than an AA piece.
Yeah,
LG-42.
and preventing strafing, yeah.
Yeah, and LG-42 in the center does go down to the 81 mortar, which is making its presence known there pretty well. And he did bring in ammo to keep... Luna did bring in ammo to keep his 81 mortars firing. And down south, another Stug 3 to help push all these infantry back. I mean, Onord's infantry are getting beaten up pretty hard. And we're coming to the end of B phase.
I mean, it's got these Fallschirmjägers with FG-42s, and they are just going to rip rifles at range. And then the MG-34 variant getting into the decent position. It's just, the other thing is just the disparity between the cover, right? Having the Fallschirmjägers in heavy cover, having the rifles early out in the open, they're obviously going to get cut down pretty quickly indeed.
And yeah, we see Onord making a lot of pushes out of cover, like just walking his infantry forward. It always makes me sweat a little bit when I watch it happening.
Yeah, and it's not like he doesn't have like the mortar carrier on the backside to provide a little bit of smoke if he needs it. So it feels like a little bit off his game for this one, and maybe just kind of forgetting some of the basics, especially like we see the bombers. You can see like he's under pressure when he starts doing those kinds of plays. But the Stug 3 has gone down here, and Onord does briefly find himself a double tick with the two flags in the center there. Nice little salient. But yeah, Focke-Wulf going down to the Bofors and the M16.
Yeah, the question, I mean, this is the most dangerous time for Luna. This Onord has the biggest advantage he's going to have at any point in terms of income. It's all downhill from here. But he's got technically a 400-point income advantage. Can he leverage? I mean, he's made his B phase was not actually very good trade-wise. Like if you look at the map, there's still a lot of blue present, and not actually
I was
a
going
ton
to
of
say
red.
that. Yeah, I was going to say that the actual unit count for Nord right now is pretty light for a Maverick at the end of Phase B, and so he may not quite have the momentum. Although I say that, look at his spawn. Was he just floating so many points? That's like
Yeah, he had to
three
be.
M5A1s, M10, M4A1, multiple rifles, engineers, snipers. Man's been sleeping.
Yeah, he's been floating. That's at least 3 ticks of income there, even in Maverick. So, I mean, that definitely wasn't helping him. And the problem is it might be hard for him now to hold on to the gains he did make. We see Luna here in the center doing a push out. Takes out the 105 howitzer, which, I mean, no, the M5 gun is not that scary. The PaK-36, a phenomenal support / AT gun here.
Yeah, he's going on the bottom side as well. That's going to be starting to pick off some of these transports. The engineers going down there for the first one. It's going to force Onord to unload early. It's also going to put pressure onto these Stuarts after the fact. So he's got to be careful. In the center, double Sturm Pioneers are going to help clean out the rifles there. And like I said, the PaK-36 here with the 2 Vet going to potentially take out this M5 gun, whilst the Fallschirmjägers with these MG-42s and the FG-42s are going to continue moving on here. If those Sturm Pioneers get into that heavy cover, they'll be able to deal with the rifles early as well, potentially take that flag.
Well, and all of a sudden, it's 13-11 for Luna here, flipping the flags immensely. The bazooka up north finally picked up a kill, by the way. Transport driving by does go down. The PaK-36 finishing off that M5 gun. That's a painful loss, actually. It's a very strong unit to lose. PaK-36 down south just cleaving everything it can find, but now the mortar finding its target on there, and ouch. Always an ouch from that.
Yeah, Fallschirmjäger is going to take back control of the lake side for him. The Sturm Pioneers did finish off the rifles there. Sturm Pioneers further up, almost taking out the rifles here. If he can surrender those before the bomb drops, that would be great, but doesn't look like he's going to have time. Although the second squad is surviving completely after those bombing strikes. Now Focke-Wulf 190 is coming in to do the same in return.
Jagdpanther in the center, finding the M10, taking that out. So a nice kill there. There's actually there's not a ton of M10s. There's only 6 in the deck. So killing each one of those off, pretty huge, because at that point, there's almost no way to kill off the Jagdpanther anymore, except for maybe the M5 or a lot of Artie.
Yeah. Meg on the bottom side, a little bit overly aggressive from own Nord. Manages to kill SD2 just before he got pinned down. That was really clutch. The Stuk 3 here with the 2 vet, potentially able to deal with these M4s quite easily, but loads more infantry now just flooding across the open here, and these A20s have not been evac'd once again. Pack 36 gonna get some shots towards this M4, but might struggle to pen there. It does have 110 mils of frontal armor. I say that as it manages to get straight through that.
Caster curse, good job. That's all your fault. And
Yeah,
it did it
and
again
down it
right
goes.
after. Yep, that's because you said something.
I know what taps that after that one. 23 minutes and 32 seconds. Doesn't see a way back in against the balanced deployment type of Luna. And that is going to tie the series 1-1. 2,295 kills, 1,795 losses for Luna. Very, very efficient phase B against a Maverick player.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to beat the Maverick. I mean, if you just outplay them immensely and eat up 400 points, well, then they're kind of screwed right off from the bat of C phase, right? You're not even ahead anymore. So then it's just pile on the income. No units did anything particularly incredible. I mean, the Jagdpanther did pick up 2 M10s and a 105, which actually does pay it off, I guess, right? Yeah, it does. Because the Jagdpanther's, 185 points, and yeah, well past that. So not often we see those big units pay themselves off, so that's nice to see from time to time. Yeah, otherwise...
Yeah, I think the thing that I like the most about this is just Luna showing, like, after what was a really tough game 1, Luna shows why they're in this position, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like in the semi-final, you don't want to see like one side be crushed. Like taking it to a game 3 is always really, really nice, and we get to see now the skill from Onord in the first game, and in the second game, Luna puts on the pressure and forces Onord to make mistakes, and then we get one back. So really, really exciting stuff.
Yeah, great match from both players. I'm just pumped we get a game 3.
Yeah, all right. That's it for now then. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Hello guys, and welcome to a new Still Division 2 video today by myself, Vulcan, and Attack Power.
Woo! SDL League!
In this video we have you game 3 of a best of 3 between Onord and Luna in the semi-final of the final Still Division League.
No.
Today they are playing on Shadelta, and on our left in the red team we have Onord playing with the 97th Guards with the Maverick deployment type, and on our right in the blue team playing on the Axis side we have Luna using the 91st Luftlander and the balanced deployment type. Very surprising division there. What do you have to say about these ones?
I'm going to say something every time you say final SDL season until you stop spreading that horrible news.
It is the lies, okay? I'm sorry.
Lies. I believe it's still fake news in my heart.
We'll see.
So 97th, a very solid division. Not the top of the Soviet food chain anymore as it was in times past, but still a very strong division. Well suited for Sedilcha. It's got good CQC, solid infantry, big tanks to cover the open ground. It is lacking in some 2K HE, but outside of that, it does all the things you need it to do for this map and is a reasonable choice in many situations. 91st Luftlander is a hot pile of garbage, so I'm not 100% sure why Luna has chosen this, although he has a history of choosing very niche, and I'm using the word niche generously, very out there divisions. 91st Luftlander looks good on paper, but when you start picking apart all its many weaknesses, like lack of light armor, bad AA, iffy to bad arty, not great support tab, then all of a sudden you find the many weaknesses this division does have. The one thing it does well, infantry are strong. Your AT tab is also relatively strong, but lacking in light AT. Outside of that, though, this division plays worse than it looks by a wide margin.
Alrighty, well, let's see what it's consisting of at the start of the game here. We'll start at the top right with Luna's forces. We got the Flammenwerfer, a Pack 41 Gerlich, who got the Fusilier, the Luftlander Schützen, and the Panzer B2 Führer.
That's fun.
Further down, the Flammenwerfer, the Pak 41 Fusilier, Fallschirmjäger, and the artillery, the 105. We've got Fallschirmpanzerabwehr, Luftlandesschützen, Fusilier IG Flammenwerfer, and on the bottom side, lots of infantry, Luftlandesschützen, Fallschirmjäger ZF, which are the MG snipers, and then the Panzerabwehr, another artillery. We've got the Sturm Pioneers there as well with another Pak 41 Gerlich. So looking for those AT snipes early on. Over for Au Nord, we have the Maxim on the top side with the Flamer. Another Maxim heading to the top with 2 guards. Then for the mid, 2 Flamers with a sniper, Sapori, guards, M17. We've got the 122mm M30, which most likely will be used as 2,000 meter range fire support, and a T-34-85 leader there. We've got some Flamers going to be heading into the town with the Avtos. On the bottom side, it's going to be double Maxim, OB-25, and 4 squads of guards DP.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, Luna going for a pretty balanced deployment here. Literally, he's got balanced income. And, like, in terms of his spread around the map, the Russians are basically always going to beat you to the front line. So, kind of odd to see him trying to push so far early here. We see down south a lot of these infantry getting caught out. Sturm Pioneers going for broke. Are they going to get through? Looks like they might.
Yeah, the Maxims are targeting the infantry and not the transports, so they are managing to sneak through there. They're finally going to start targeting the transports, but as they reach cover, so that's not so bad. Interesting to see both sides have opted to use their artillery as direct fire support, the 105 here being used to take out the OB. IL-2 coming in early on already for the 50-kilogram bomb is going to pin down all of those Sturm Pioneers, but nothing quite there to surrender them.
I mean, the Geb 105 is doing some serious work down south. I mean, that is actually quite impressive. M17 in the middle goes down to the IG-18 heat shell. What a pickup there.
Yeah, they've also already taken out the 2 Flamer squads that were attacking that hill. The Fusilier made short work of those. 122 is trying to help finish off the IG-18, and the Sapori there gets its machine gun on target to finish the job. In the town, the Flamers are going to win with the Avtos against the Axis Flamers. Focke-Wulf 190 coming in for the strafing run, trying to shut down that 122 early on. That strafing run did barely any damage though, surprisingly.
Yeah, this Focke-Wulf variant should do a pretty good amount of damage on the strafe, so it's kind of surprising. But the center here collapsing for Luna. I mean, there's nothing here. It's all gone.
Yep, and already a 16-8 for Au Nord, which is quite substantial. 105's trying to get some indirect fire now against where the Maxim was. And the Sturm Pioneers, now they've recovered from their fallback, are going to try and clean out these guards at close range. They will be backed up by the Luftlandesschützen and the Fallschirmjäger ZF, which are both not that great at close range, but the extra numbers might help just clean that up quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, and the weird thing is Luna does not appear to be that concerned about his giant salient in the middle, sending only a Panzerabwehr, which still doesn't hold the line, into the middle. It seems a little shocking. He seems way more concerned with the south, trying to grab some of this ground as the Sturm Pioneers are getting absolutely wrecked in the Yellow Forest.
Yeah, that was a really, really poorly timed engagement there for Luna, as the Sturm Pioneers got caught out in the light cover whilst the guards were in heavy cover, and it allowed the guards to get some serious damage down. But now those guards are going to be on the back foot, going to have to fall back to the Avtos. IL-2 coming in to pin those down might make a big difference here. When those guards turns around afterwards, that might be it. Quite a lot of surrenders.
Yeah, in the center.
Sturm Pioneers get the surrender on the guards though. But yeah, center, Fallschirmjäger ZF finally coming in to prevent that salient.
Yeah, and the problem is they're just driving out into the center of the map and standing there to get shot by this 122 and this T-34, getting absolutely shredded.
So, yeah, Fallschirmjäger ZF trying to hide behind the church now. They're still going to get hit by that artillery, though. The 122 there just did so much damage to both those squads with that one shot. Now, the Sturm Pioneers on the bottom, with their 3 vet, actually managing to push these guards out completely. So, nicely done there, and that will secure potentially a second flag if he has the Fallschirmjäger ZF come up to cover them in the open. But this 18-6 is not a good look, and
No.
yeah, as you mentioned, there wasn't really an urgency to stop this huge salient that has occurred in the center of the map, and I know it's just kind of setting up there. The M17 being used very aggressively to attack this infantry because that Fallschirmjäger ZF that it's driving towards doesn't have any AT, so we'll just be able to run them down.
I mean,
And
honestly,
this bottom side push is only getting one flag.
yeah, and honestly, that's what the M17's for. It's a terrible AA piece, but it like insta pins infantry because it's 450 cals. Yeah, I think Luna did not react with enough urgency to this center push, and now Honord's been able to absolutely establish himself here with a ton of 2K assets. He gets to be aggressive with these M17. Now the one in the center running down this Pack 40. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's going to run down
That
this
is
LL
brutal.
Schutzen. These things are seriously like they are not for AA. They are for like gunning down ground troops, and they do. It's still 18-6, and like you lose very fast in 18-6. It doesn't feel like it's going that poorly, and then all of a sudden half your tickets are gone. You're like, what just happened?
Yeah, and the trouble is, like, the Fallschirmjäger ZF that just got torn up by that M17 are 35 points. Like, they are cheaper than they used to be, but,
They ain't cheap.
like, they're still expensive, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like, I mean, Honord, especially in A phase, really dominates long range fights here in the center. I mean, yeah, it just Luna has no tools here in A phase for this, and this is part of the problem with 91st. You just don't have a good spread of tools. You can't fill every phase with the necessary stuff to win.
Yeah, and with the Pack 40 going down, it makes things so much harder. Like, the Pack 41 Gerlich, it's okay, but it's only got 1,000 meter range, so it can't really reach out and touch that T-34-85 that's just going to keep sitting there. There's no long range support that's going to be dealing with the 122 anytime soon. So all of these infantry are just free to run out in the open, like the Avtos and the Flamers that were in the town, just freely running towards the next flag.
Man.
And all the while, Luna's trying to focus on this bottom side, but not getting anything for it.
Yeah, the bottom side's not actually a very good push for the blue side. This flag is actually really hard to grab because the opponent can just hide in this forest next to it. Yeah, I feel like you have the way to win this map from the blue side is up north, capturing this hill, like the big hill. I'm talking like the big hill up north, covering all that off, and then you cut off the center reinforcement route, and you can easily win the game from there.
E34-85 making short work of the B2. Luftlander Schützen actually getting pushed out by the guards now that have the heavy cover. So the Fallschirmjäger ZF there might struggle as well because the guards are in the heavy cover. 541 might be able to do some damage to the T-34-76, but it manages to get out of the way quickly enough. Fallschirmpanzer Abwehr trying to move up and get their Panzerbrück on target, but are going to bump into the guard DP. So they're not holding them back for the time being.
Gerlich actually snuck up and killed the M17, which, as stupid as that seems, actually might be a big deal to finally relieve some pressure there. But it's still an 18-6 with the Avtos now capturing another random back flag. This is not going well.
And the Luftlander Schützen aren't really going to be able to fight those at close range. The Avtos will just rip them apart. And so I feel like already, Luna's in such a bad position with no more like close range infantry, maybe no more infantry at all, really, to fight back because we're not seeing many more reinforcements on their way. Also, IL-2 there manages to get the bombing strike onto the Fallschirmpanzer Abwehr thanks to the PE2. So the T-34 is now free to push back onto all of this infantry that has no AT, and the Pack 41 Gerlich is just going to have a lot of work to do if it wants to support these squads.
Yeah, I mean, this is a disaster. I don't know how else to describe this. I really think Luna just went for the wrong part of the map. Like his winning spot was up north, where he could kind of leverage his Stugs a little bit. And yeah, Luna throwing in the towel already. That was a disappointing game 3, to say the least.
Yeah, 8 minutes 59 seconds is all it took for Nord to win this semi-final. And I mean, the kills and losses aren't even that far off.
Not at all.
But it, like you say, it's just a matter of where those points were spent and where the units were. And Luna already running out of units, it seemed, by the end, or before the end of Phase A, really, just left them in such a bad spot. The T-34 just dominating the mid. The 105 surprisingly good on the bottom side, but just such an overcommitment there that just only gained one flag.
Yeah, I not the division is just honestly really bad. And like Luna was a big player of 50-second signaling and stuff. I would honestly pick that over this. Like I legitimately would pick that division over 91st. It's just it's got so many problems. It's so hard to make this division work in any way whatsoever. And we can see it here. I mean, every weakness was easily exploited by Onord, and then just a few strategic choices there by Luna just left him completely overwhelmed, and not even in like he got seriously out traded or out microed. It just like in a macro level was dominated.
Yeah, for sure. But at least we get to see Luna's prowess in the second game. Unfortunately, for that one, it just looked completely in Onord's favor. So Onord will be moving on to the final, and we'll find out who will be joining him in the next best of 3. But that is it for now. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Congrats to Onord. Commiserations there to Luna. Thank you for the match as always, and thanks for the cast, Vulcan.
Yeah, it's been good to get back into this, and I'm looking forward to doing more. But that's all from us for now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.